Lockdown is a Tamil emotional thriller starring Anupama Parameswaran in the lead role. Directed by debut filmmaker A. Jiva, the movie tells a story that takes place during the global COVID-19 lockdown period. The film attempts to capture the fear, isolation, and psychological stress that many people experience during that difficult time. The story follows a young woman named Anita. She lives with her family and appears to be a normal, responsible daughter. However, her life suddenly changes after a traumatic incident that deeply affects her mental state. As the story progresses, viewers slowly begin to understand that Anita is hiding something serious that she cannot openly talk about. Just as she is trying to deal with this emotional crisis, the nationwide COVID lockdown begins. The sudden restrictions force everyone to remain inside their homes, creating a tense and claustrophobic environment. For Anita, this situation becomes even more difficult because she must face her fears while being trapped in the same place with her family. One of the central themes of the movie is mental stress and emotional pressure. The film explores how isolation and fear can affect a person's mental health. Through Anita's character, the movie attempts to show how trauma and anxiety can slowly change someone's behavior and relationships with others. Anupama Parameswaran's performance is the biggest highlight of the movie. She carries most of the emotional weight of the story and delivers a sincere performance as a young woman struggling with fear and guilt. Her character goes through a range of emotions including anxiety, anger, confusion, and vulnerability. Throughout the film, the audience watches Anita trying to find solutions to her problems while hiding the truth from her parents. Her behavior begins to worry her family members, especially when they notice her constantly checking her phone, losing her temper, and asking friends for money without explaining why. The tension increases as the lockdown situation becomes stricter and Anita's mental condition becomes more unstable. She attempts to contact people who might help her, including doctors and friends, but the restrictions and chaos of the pandemic make everything more complicated. The film's atmosphere plays an important role in building tension. The cinematography uses tight indoor spaces and dim lighting to create a sense of confinement. Since most of the story happens during lockdown, the environment feels closed and uncomfortable, which reflects the emotional state of the main character. Another notable element of the movie is its attempt to address real social issues. The story touches on topics such as harassment, fear of social judgment, and the pressure many women face when dealing with traumatic experiences. However, while the movie has a strong concept, some critics felt that the screenplay could have been stronger. Certain supporting characters are not developed deeply, and some parts of the narrative feel slightly slow. Because of this, most of the emotional impact depends heavily on the lead character. Despite these weaknesses, the film succeeds in presenting an intense character-focused story. It highlights the emotional struggles that many people face during the pandemic and reminds viewers how isolation can affect mental health. Overall, Lockdown is a serious and emotionally driven drama that attempts to tell a socially relevant story. The film may not be perfect in terms of pacing and writing, but Anupama Parameswaran's performance and the film's realistic themes make it an interesting watch for audiences who enjoy psychological dramas. For viewers